Hello, my friend. We'll be speaking, or rather I will be speaking, on Carl Jung's view on evil. It's similar in some ways to Freud's view on evil, in that both of them recognized evil as something that exists within the human being, but it's a very different take on it. So like with Freud, for Jung, evil is not just a psychological mistake or a social byproduct that is regrettable. It is actually a profound archetypal reality that is kind of baked into the structure of the human being, of the human psyche. So he also did not believe that evil is just an absence of good. He believed that evil was a distinct, positive force, powerful force that must be integrated in a person's character rather than ignored. His idea about the shadow archetype is absolutely vital to understanding this. So this is the cornerstone of his view on evil. The idea that we all carry a shadow, a dark side of our personality with us. It holds everything that we dislike about ourselves, everything that we are ashamed of about ourselves. And because of this, it feels like the evil side of us, and we push it into the unconscious. This was Freud's impact on Jung, really, this idea of the unconscious. I would prefer to think of it as we keep it in the dark. We don't think about it very often. So Jung famously said, and I quote, "Everyone carries a shadow, and the less it is embodied in the individual's conscious life, the blacker and denser it is." So every one of us has this shadow, and we project it into the world and see evil in others that reminds us of our own suppressed darkness. So this is how we become prejudiced about others and how we scapegoat others. It is also how we end up going to war, because we see the devil in our neighbor because we can't face the devil in ourselves. And therefore, to work with our archetypes, and especially with the shadow archetype as well, is a very important part of mental well-being. So it's important to do this because for Jung, evil is a very energetic force. It's a very powerful force, and if we don't use it, it's like not being in balance. It's like not having the positive and the negative pole. So again, Jung understood something of that polarity of human existence that's so important in existential thinking, the awareness that you have to work with the positive and the negative pole of your existence. And that there needs to be this tension between light and dark and good and evil in order for life to function at all. Jung came to believe that Christianity was very much in the wrong by basing itself on the concept of a trinity, which is Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but which omits completely the shadow side. So he wanted it to be fourfold, a quaternity. Of course, the female is still completely lacking from that, so that still doesn't do the trick as far as I'm concerned. But Jung at least believed that the goal of life should not be perfection, but it should be to try and become whole, and you can only do that by integrating the darkness. He saw in what was happening with the rise of Nazism in World War II, how many people lose connection to their own shadows and therefore become susceptible to psychic epidemics. Jung's thinking around that was quite iffy, so I won't belabor it any further. What is important is his idea of individuation, which is how you integrate all these elements of yourself and become a fully functioning, wholesome person. So that is the process of becoming your true self by bringing all these things that you have been ignoring more to mind, more to the surface, and start to draw on it. You don't defeat your shadow or the evil in you. You learn to recognize it and to draw from it in a constructive way. You negotiate with it. You form an alliance with it. Jung believed that you can find gold in the darkness, and that it is only once you stop repressing your creativity, your passion, and your strength that have been labeled bad by society, that you can begin to live a complete life and to understand that that involves some of the darkness. So rather than becoming wholly good, you make yourself whole.